Purvis. Please welcome Darryl Purvis.
You guys, you ever watch TV? Nobody? I watch TV. My favorite TV show is pretty much everybody's favorite TV show. It's a Canadian game show from the past. It's called Just Like Mom. Yeah? You've heard of it, obviously. Some great hair. For those of you who haven't heard of it, I'll explain it to you. First of all, like I said, it's a Canadian game show. So right off the bat, you're playing for well over $12 in Canadian Tire money and Casa Loma coupons. And it's sort of like the old newlywed game where they'd have the mother come out and they'd ask her some questions, and then they'd put her in a soundproof booth, which is actually just an old hairdryer from a beauty salon. And then have her kid come out and ask him or her a few questions. And if they got the same answers, that's how they got points. That was good television. But where it became great television was at the end with the big bake-off. Guys remember that? Well, if you don't, I'll explain that too. What happened there was each kid would bake a cookie, and then the mothers would eat the cookies and try to figure out which one was baked by her kid. That's Canadian entertainment at its best right there. So my friends and I were talking about it. We're like, what would you do to make your cookie stand out? My friends, they're so creative. My one friend's like, I would have covered mine in ketchup. And then for sure my mother would have known that was my cookie. Like, wow, that's really creative. My other friend's like, I would have covered mine in chocolate chips. And then for sure my mother would have known that was my cookie. I'm like, wow, that's really creative and delicious. See, my friends, they're so much more creative than me, because what I'd have done is I'd have taken the icing and spelled my name. Yeah, my mom, she, growing up would always say, hey, Mom, what's for dinner? And Mom would say, what's for dinner? I could be dead by dinner. Wow, that's really positive, Mom. That's, could be dead by dinner, eh? Well, you better get cooking. I made a startling discovery the other day. I realized that, you know how celebrities these days, they take the first initial from their first name and the first syllable from their last name. That's how they get their nickname. Like Jennifer Lopez is J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez is A-Rod. I realized if you do that for me, I would be deeper. Deeper. That's a pretty good nickname, eh? Or was that nickname in high school? Deeper. Deeper. Actually, my whole family, this is the weird thing, they'd all be nicknamed Deeper. I've got a weird family where everybody is, their first name starts with the letter D. It's true. My parents are Dave and Doris, and then from oldest to youngest, there's Debbie, Donna, Deanna, David, Darian, and me, Darryl. So I was asking Mom, I'm like, Mom, how did this ever happen? And Mom's like, oh, it was just a coincidence. That's a coincidence? That's a pretty big coincidence. Why don't you be honest? You're too busy having sex to turn the page in the big book of baby names. Yeah, you guys, anybody here ever play any games when you were kids? No? My favorite game was pretty much everybody's favorite game. It was called Dizzy Dizzy Drunk Man. I'm from the Maritimes. It's a pretty simple game. You just stood there and you kept spinning around in circles over and over and over again. You'd be like, oh, look at me, I'm so dizzy. I'm so drunk. I'm the dizzy, dizzy, drunk man. And your father come out and beat you because he thought you were mocking him.